So let's discuss. I'd like to welcome in Donald Lane, former special agent with the U.S. Secret Service and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Donald, great to see you again. So I want to start out with some criticism of this. So critics argue that drug cartels are not engaging in hostilities against the U.S. That is the standard for when there is an armed conflict for legal purposes, because selling, according to these critics, selling a dangerous product is different from an armed attack. What is your reaction? What are your thoughts?
It's good to see you too, Nichole. My response to that is, I think we can get caught up in semantics, but the bottom line is that, we're not dealing with businessmen here. I mean, these are brutal, ruthless murderers and narco terrorists. If you look at what's going on here in the United States, the death rate due to illegal substances is, it's number one for illegal substances amongst working age Americans. So I think it's overdue that they're named terrorist organizations for sure. They're taking over entire countries. If you look at what's going on in Venezuela. So, I understand criticism. However, in this case, I don't think it's warranted. And I think it's a good thing that we've adopted this posture.
All right, so let's listen, Donald, to some of what the president has recently said about cartels.
We're taking it to the next level, probably next level times 3. But under our leadership, the military is now the knife's edge in combating this sinister enemy. We have to put the traffickers and cartels on notice, and we've done that. And we've put them, a lot of them, we've called them a terrorist organization, which is actually a big thing to do.
So, Donald, do you think this means we will see more or learn of more aggressive moves by the U.S., some of which may have already happened?
No doubt. I believe we'll continue to see them aggressively go after these cartels. On the screen now, we're seeing videos of them attacking these boats that are coming in. And let's face the facts. It's fentanyl. That's the biggest threat right now coming into our country, being mixed and laced with all manner of different illegal substances, and it kills people. It's as simple as that. So I do believe you'll continue to see a strong response, especially with this move by the president to these narco terrorists and stopping their trade of these illegal substances flowing into our country.
The New York Times is also reporting, Donald, that a confidential notice sent to Congress, in it, the administration is also indicating, and this is what I want to focus in on, suspected smugglers for drug cartels will be considered, quote, unlawful combatants. My question for you, what could that mean when it comes to immigration enforcement inside of the U.S.?
Well, anytime you're dealing with somebody who is bringing a substance in that is currently the number one killer of working age Americans, I think that, you do need to see that person as an enemy combatant. That's the way I see it. And so I think with respect to immigration, it'll just continue down the road with what the administration is currently doing. It may add to it in terms of being able to charge some of these folks a little differently than perhaps what's happening now from a legal standpoint. But I do think that I don't think you'll necessarily see a large rise in what's going on now, but at least you can add these folks to the fold of people that need to be rounded up and removed from the country.
So I want to focus in on that a little bit more, Donald, because what about critics who fear that almost anyone could probably be labeled a suspected smuggler?
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I think that, there has to be some evidence that you have illegal substances and you're working to get them into the country. We do need to follow the law. Absolutely have to follow the law. We can't just blanket attribute that to anyone coming into the country or doing that. As long as there's evidence that someone is actively involved in smuggling or bringing these illegal substances to the United States, then I say we use the full weight of the federal government to root them out, charge them, and get them out of the country.
And just really quickly, last question for you, Donald. I mean, what about reaction to this and to probably what we will see from the White House and the administration? Because we know that the Venezuelan government is already not pleased with these recent actions from the Trump administration.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not. I think when you crack down on things like this, these are geopolitical issues that run deep. They put a lot of money in pockets overseas, particularly. And when you start to disrupt that, you're going to have a lot of pushback on it. The bottom line is anything we can do to make Americans safer and free from this plague of fentanyl coming into our country, I think serves the American taxpayer and the American citizen the best. And I'm glad to see that we're taking some strong action to do that, so we can help save these young lives and other people who are addicted to these substances.
Yeah, and certainly no argument. Fentanyl has been terrible for this country. So, Donald Lane, thank you so much for your time today.
You bet, Nichole. Have a great day.
You too.